Hi, it's J-P Rouja out on Nonsuch with Jerry Madeiros out there in the background. Something interesting popped up during our health check yesterday. Cahows are generally monogamous and will stay tied as a pair to a nest throughout their life cycles. But generally when they are evicted or something happens to the nest, they may end up repairing and changing their mates, etc. Yesterday during a check on the CahowCam 2 nest, something became apparent that last year the female from that nest had disappeared, didn't come back, and the male had then attracted a new young mate this year. Generally, Cahows are very well synchronized. They'll return back on the nest, as we're proving on the cameras, within hours of each other, even though they've spent months apart at sea. But this year, because this was a new female, she ended up arriving back in the CahowCam 2 nest, as we saw on camera, earlier than usual, because generally the male and the previous female in that nest were some of the latest arrivals. Then within a day, another Cahow appeared, and they started, the courtship and mating processes, etc. And we'd thought, well, that's, pretty interesting that for some reason the male has shown up earlier than usual. But during the health check yesterday, we found out that it isn't actually the male from that nest.
E0296, this is a different bird. And that would explain why he came, the bird appeared so early. So he has the mate from the big male that's in there, but that male is a lot bigger. That male usually comes in, like I said, at anywhere from 420 to 450 grams, which is 100 grams more than this one is. There's only so much management we can carry out. This is a wild bird. This is not a cage bird or a zoo bird. So you have to let them go through these things. They have to sort it out on their own, because if you were to try and keep him away, he would just come right back. And, this is going to have to be sorted out, between the two guys in this nest. Yeah, I just think he has no idea what's coming. He's got a world of hurt. In the end, you're going to have, a pair. But this is one of the things that they have to do in order to make sure that the strongest birds breed. So yeah, that's completely surprising. So this is not the rightful owner of this nest at all, like we've thought since he appeared. But it explains why this one turned up earlier than the other one normally does. Oh boy. That could lead to a really vicious fight when the other one comes back. And I don't see this bird winning, because that other bird is a giant of a Cahow. Hello, everybody. Yeah, well, I'm here with Haley from BioQuest at the entrance of the CahowCam 2 nest. There's a real question now as to this chick, which is now hatched and is growing like crazy. We're not sure if the resident male from here is the father, or if it was this bird that came in, spent 4 days, and then was kicked out by Sampson as soon as he returned. And that's what we can only answer that question by doing a Cahow paternity test, more or less, to see who the father is.
Yeah.
We want to, because this is a very rare thing. We have seen it before, but Cahows are usually very faithful monogamous birds that nest pair for life, and so this is a fairly rare event. So we really want to know what's happening here. So yeah, let's get the chick and we'll see how he or she looks right now. It's impossible to sex them until they're almost completely, developed and ready to fly out to sea. So at this point, it could be either or. Oh my gracious. We have a very fat little bird here.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
At this point, is, I think, slightly less than 2 weeks of age.
Oh.
So, yeah, really, I can feel his stomach feels like a little furry water balloon. Yeah,
cute.
you want to hold them?
Yes,
Well,
I
the thing to
do.
do is cup your hands, make a cup as long as they feel like they're not going to fall. They're fine.
He's so soft.
They're incredibly soft. They have 2 layers
Oh
of
my
down,
goodness.
which the down is extremely well insulating, and it's why the parents can leave them within 4 hours of them being hatched. As soon as they
Right.
dry out, they're able to generate enough heat
Yeah.
to not need constant brooding by the parents. So this is the chick that we are uncertain of its who the father is, more or less. We need to look at the paternity and such. And the way that we're going to do that is when this chick, about 2.5, 3 months from now, when it's almost full grown, is that we're going to have to take a blood sample from it. And, BioQuest will be able to take a look. I think we already have a blood sample for Sampson, possibly. I'm not sure about the other one, but we can see. But if need be, we can also do tests for that. And then we'd be able to tell right away who answered a big question of who's the daddy.
We can sequence and then find out who the parents are.
Exactly.
Well, who the father is.
Yeah. Who's your daddy, boy?
Daddy?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. I'm just here waiting to be fed again.
To be fed again.
Yeah. Okay, so let me get him back in to the coolness
So
of his
cute.
nest.
I know it's really hot out here.
There we go.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, we have to come back. This was good. This was nice. Very interesting. Jeremy taught me a lot today.
Okay, well, Jeremy and J-P here again on Nonsuch, and this chick may be the half-sibling of the chick from the CahowCam 2 nest, in that the male bird, the father of this bird from this nest, R821, is also the bird that spent 4 days with the new female mate of Sampson in the R832 or the CahowCam 2 nest. So this might be the half-sibling of that. So again, the plot thickens. Who's your daddy? It's possible that that male may be one of the first Cahows, certainly I've ever recorded, that has sired 2 chicks from 2 different females in 2 different nests in 1 season. So we'll see, but we won't really know until right at the end of the breeding cycle, when we're able to take feather or blood samples from the parents and from the chick, I should imagine, with this one.